rivalry between the past 10 matchups. Gonzaga is 10-0. And we will now tune in to our public address announcer.
And we are just moments away from tip-off here at the Battle of North Capitol. Let's talk about a few players on each side of the ball here. Gonzaga, your hosts for tonight, have a very young team with just 3 seniors playing. And one of those impact players is a sophomore, Dave Buyamba. Was on the team last year as a freshman, but has made an early impact as one of the youngest guys on this team. He won DC Classic MVP in the championship game against Chaminade, in which they won by 5.
Yeah, and then of course the story of the DMV so far this year is Anthony Brown, number 0 from Archbishop Carroll, headed down to Nashville, Tennessee next year to play for the Commodores of Vanderbilt.
Anthony Brown is a 4-star committed to Vanderbilt. He has been unbelievable this entire year. And last year, in a heated matchup on I Street between Carroll and Gonzaga, he was not happy coming out of this gym with a loss. And so he holds a little bit of a chip on his shoulder and a grudge against Gonzaga. We'll see what he can do tonight against a Gonzaga team that is very different from last year, losing their head coach. This is head coach Keith Ergo's first year at Gonzaga. He graduated in 1997 and coached freshman basketball for 4 years, including a couple coaches here on I Street. Coach Hannigan, Coach Gould, and Coach Kernan, the current athletic director. So he has a lot of Gonzaga experience, but this is only his first year as the head coach of varsity basketball.
Yeah, it is, and I want to, this we call the Battle of North Cap, but there was another Battle of North Cap earlier this year on Buchanan Field at Joe Rada Stadium where Gonzaga beat Archbishop Carroll in football 42-7. So this rivalry goes beyond the basketball court, hits every sport, but of course, basketball being the flagship sport of the WCAC.
Absolutely, especially not just the WCAC, but the whole DMV area. The DMV has shown their basketball prowess at the high school level very much this year with a lot of powerhouses, including McNamara and, of course, Paul VI with their 5-star Jordan Smith, who is still uncommitted. A lot of talent in the DMV as we are set to go here. The tip-off between Britton Barrett, the senior, and Dave Buyamba, the sophomore.
With Barrett having an inch on Buyamba there. Hagenbotham here on the ball on Bam Bolding.
Bolding just a junior here.
And Hagenbotham just a sophomore, or just a freshman, pardon me. Off-ball foul here on Chase Peterson.
Well, Peterson likes to play aggressive defense, and he's going to be playing hard against Anthony Brown, or as some people call him, Ant Brown.
I like that matchup there. He's aggressive, he's fast, and he has the experience here on the varsity level, which not a lot of these guys here on the new Gonzaga varsity team have, but he brings that leadership as a senior and as someone that played on the team last year. Look as he gets that steal there.
Nice defense from Gonzaga. Peterson will find Axton Scott on the other side of the court. His three is no good. Nice rebound there from Barrett.
But great steal there, and that is why they have Peterson.
Mid-range jumper's no good from Brown. Ball will stay with Carroll. They say Chase Peterson was the one who touched it last.
A little bit of an iffy call there. Looked like it went off the Carroll player, but stays with Carroll.
A three from Anthony Brown here falls down. He opens up scoring. Carroll leads 3-0.
Looks like there's a referee timeout.
Shot clock was not right, and they'll redo the inbound here. Some nice full court pressure so far from Archbishop Carroll. As a risky pass gets to
That is a
Buyamba,
nasty
and
foul.
Axton Scott fell down to the floor awkwardly there on that knee.
He's walking that off nicely.
Risky pass there from Buyamba. Gonzaga will stay with it after a foul. Axton Scott coming right off of the hard foul will turn it over. Anthony Brown will push the pace here for the Lions. Attacking Peterson. Nice
Another
defense.
great tip there.
Nice defense there from Chase Peterson. He's hyped up.
And look as he'll guard him there. Chase Hogg coming into the game for Axton Scott. Chase Hogg, of course, the junior, also on this team last year, won the DCSAA championship with Coach Turner, and is one of the few that remained here at Gonzaga.
A nice pass there from Brown. Gets it to Deng. Matziok Deng will lay it in. Carroll has held Gonzaga scoreless as another turnover. Ball is loose, and Carroll brings it back. Anthony Brown working on Peterson in the post. Fadeaway jumper. It's no good. Rebound by Alan Buyamba.
Both brothers went up for that ball. Of course, number 24 and number 5, Dave and Alan Buyamba. Dave up there with the board.
Beautiful pass there from Chase Hogg. Finds Buyamba in the post where he's been prolific all season. Fast-paced game so far here. They get it in the post, and the throwdown is good. Matziok Deng throws it down for the Lions.
Peterson with the ball, passes to Higginbotham. Higginbotham taking up court, guarded by Ant Brown.
Higginbotham, another one of the young pieces on this Gonzaga team, has been a very good shooter. We'll see him shoot here. First one is knocked down by Higginbotham.
Chase Hogg here on the ball. Anthony Brown now with the ball with the pick there from 5, Donovan Ford.
Brown guarded tightly. Ford, three, rims out. Rebound Higginbotham. Now Gonzaga is going to try and push the pace. Higginbotham with a short mid-range jumper will go down.
And the game is tied now.
And the pass gets out of the hands of Anthony Brown. It's a turnover. Gonzaga takes over.
Ant Brown was not happy with his passing there. Shook it off and looked at his coach and said, "My bad."
The senior Buyamba gets it blocked, gets his own rebound, and physicality in the post. They're going to get him for a travel.
Looked like a foul could have been called there as well. Could have gone both ways. Comes the press. Ball right over Chase Hogg. Higginbotham with great defense there, and the steal from Van Bolding. Passes to Peterson. Peterson with the deep three.
No good. Nice rebound there from Braxton. Gets it to Bolding, and Bolding is fouled
by Higginbotham. Student section for Gonzaga is starting to get up and loud. And as we know, Jack, that student section can change the impact of games.
Well, when they get loud, they get really loud, as Anthony Brown is called for a travel here. Peterson gets it into Higginbotham. Higginbotham has so far been a big factor tonight, just 4 minutes in.
And he really has a bright future there, Jack. Just a freshman and a lot more WCAC basketball.
Allen Buyamba. Not the guy you see shooting a lot at all, but he knocks it down as he was wide open. Gonzaga takes a lead here as they're 2 for 3 from beyond the arc so far.
He's really shown his work ethic over the summer as he's come out as an impact player here for Gonzaga. Him and his brother, strong players, and Dave talked to us earlier this season, told us how special it is that he gets to play with his brother. As Gonzaga causes another turnover there.
A couple errant passes have costed Archbishop Carroll a few possessions here. As the student section now trying to make a little bit of ruckus. Pass is tipped off of Barrett, and it'll stay with Gonzaga. In comes Jalil Wahid for Chase Peterson. Wahid with a risky pass to Buyamba. He's going to try and handle it, and he eventually gives it to Higginbotham. Higginbotham, the sophomore. Buyamba again, these two dominating the ball here, and a nice rebound there from Barrett. And then an errant pass from Anthony Brown. Another one cost Carroll another possession.
Threw it right into the Gonzaga student section, actually hitting a fellow junior of ours. Here comes Chase Hogg. I talked with him a bit about this game. He was very excited to play Carroll and play a game back at home. It's been a while since they played a home game. It's the DC Classic.
Chase Hogg here working on the perimeter against Barrett, a 6'8" senior. Hogg will try a long three. It's no good. And then a nice rebound there from Donovan Ford. Bolden gets it to Brown. Brown can be dangerous in the post. Nice handoff. And it'll go to Gonzaga.
Out comes Higginbotham, and in comes T.J. Farrington, the number 0. Also a returner from last year, played on that Coach Turner squad that, of course, won the DC State Championship and was a runner-up to Paul VI in the WCAC Championship. Chase Hogg dribbling up court.
Got a nice screen there from Buyamba, and then he gets in the post.
Pick and roll there. Chog on Ant Brown.
Physical defense here from Chase Hogg. Ant Brown, another turnover.
Chog is hyped. In comes Patrick Shimmy, number 11, now for Dave Boyamba. Shimmy, the dual sport athlete for Gonzaga, has a South Carolina football offer. Not very many times you see dominant players in both sports, but Gonzaga's had a lot of luck in both.
Well, it's not just Gonzaga. If you look at Archbishop Carroll's side of the ball, as Wahid misses a 3, Donovan Ford has a football offer from Syracuse. As they go to the rim, it's no good. Good defense there from Wahid. Farrington, one of the few seniors at Gonzaga on their team, gets it to Buyamba, and a nice physical layup there from Alan Buyamba.
Foul on T.J. Farrington. In comes Jacob Williams, another junior in our grade. Jack was in my 5th period Mr. Buckley's AP pre-calc class this morning. He was also very excited for this matchup, knowing the storied rivalry of Gonzaga and Carroll.
The long 3 is just off the mark there from Ilan Najkov.
Gonzaga setting up. Jalil Wahid with the ball. Pass it to Farrington. Farrington with a deep 3.
Off the mark, and then they're going to get Jacob Williams here for a foul under the basket. That's the 4th foul for Gonzaga this quarter.
His first, of course. Just a minute 26 left in the first quarter, so that puts the next foul Gonzaga commits, sends them to the line.
Anthony Brown finds Najkov in the corner, and he knocks the 3 down this time.
And that ends the scoreless streak for Carroll.
Yeah, Carroll got out to a 7-2 lead, and then Gonzaga went on a little bit of a run, a 12-0 run, as a bad pass from Farrington will turn the ball over again to Carroll.
And in comes Peterson for Farrington, who, as we remember at the beginning, and in comes Dave Boyamba as well. As we remember, Chase Peterson was playing very good defense on Ant Brown, and he seems to be matching up on him right now. I'm excited to see how this matchup turns out towards the end of the game as people start to get tired.
Well, Anthony Brown has been a little bit put off of his balance a little bit this game, as he finds a nice seam to throw it in, but that's going to be a foul. And Barrett will go to the line, but Anthony Brown has been averaging a lot of points this year, around 30, and he has just 3 so far.
That foul sent Gonzaga into the double bonus, so 2 shots now for Carroll for the rest of the quarter. Barrett with the shot. Student section messed him up there.
First one is off the mark.
It's good to see the boosters in the student section back on I Street here for Gonzaga basketball.
Barrett's second is knocked down. Makes it a 3-point lead for Gonzaga.
In comes Victor Adamai.
52 seconds left in the first quarter of play between the 2 North Capital schools. Gonzaga does a nice job of breaking the press there. Now Peterson will try and set something up for this offense. Wahid from the corner, knocks it down. Jalil Wahid now has to get back on defense. Ant Brown turns it over.
Great turnover there by Jacob Williams. Hits the ball right off Ant Brown's leg. He doesn't seem very happy at the moment. That being Ant Brown.
It's what I said a moment ago. The physical defense from Gonzaga has been putting Ant Brown a little bit off of his game here. Shot clock is turned off for the Eagles. Clock is ticking. It's now at 20 seconds for Chase Peterson and his crew.
Yeah, Mr. Donnelly gets a little bit of the break over there on the shot clock.
Uyamba will kick it out into the corner. Williams gets it back to Peterson. Peterson now with a little floater jumper is no good. A nice rebound there from Elin, but does not matter. It's 17-11 after the first quarter of play between the Eagles and Lions.
And we've seen, Jack, we've done the past Carroll games in the past couple years, since the past 2 years actually, and we've always noticed that this game has always stayed close in the first half. That is for sure. We, for our freshman year, which was 2023, we saw Gonzaga was losing to Carroll at half, and then a series of technical fouls at the end of the second quarter put them ahead as they made those 6 technical foul shots.
Gonzaga was widely considered one of the best teams in the country last year, and an Archbishop Carroll squad that was not really that well known nationally kept up with the squad, so they are extremely adamant when it comes to this rivalry, specifically Anthony Brown, who's struggled so far in the first quarter.
And of course, Anthony Brown had transferred from Paul VI. And we're now being joined by class of 2024, Colin Smith, studying broadcasting at the University of Syracuse.
Yes, indeed. Glad to join you guys in the booth. Glad to see this club still in great action. Two great broadcasters carrying on the legacy here, so excited to be back.
Thank you so much, Colin. It's good to have you on.
So, Colin, how's the broadcasting world treating you?
Well, so far so good. I mean, nothing like Gonzaga High School basketball, but done a couple games over at Lemoyne College as well as some student TV at Syracuse.
Physical layup there from Patrick Shimmy. That was nice to open up scoring in the second quarter.
Showing that power.
Now Ford looks to answer, kicks it into the corner.
Now some physicality, and they're going to call a charge. Shimmy with 2 back-to-back great plays, one on defense, one on offense.
Chima Amadi is going to get called there for the charging foul.
Really impressive size by this Carroll squad. And Amadi, he tries to use that physicality, but it's too much. Great job by Gonzaga to draw him into a foul there. Because this Carroll team, what they've been playing well to has been the size so far in this game.
And Colin, what's been your favorite part about broadcasting in college and getting to do other schools and stuff?
Really just the opportunities, afforded to me, the great professors, learning from the best. And just over at Syracuse, there's been so many great opportunities for me just as a student. I learned so much here doing play-by-play with Sports Broadcasting Club, but at Syracuse I've learned a lot about reporting, a lot about broadcasting at other schools, a couple D1 opportunities, able to make it on ESPN+, so just expanding my world. But it was really fundamentals that I learned here at Gonzaga doing the games that you guys are doing right now that have set me up for this opportunity. But just learning more and being surrounded by a lot of great broadcasters really improved me as a journalist.
Well, I was just about to ask you what you learned here at Gonzaga that helped you so much, as Uyamba with a physical layup under the basket. But I guess you just answered it. But I do have another question. What is one of your favorite memories of a broadcaster at Gonzaga or Syracuse, either one? As a nice 3 there from Amadi, and he talks to the Gonzaga bench after nailing it.
I tell you, it's a game just like this. A WCC matchup. It was Paul VI versus Gonzaga, number 1 and 2 in the country. Me and my good friend Owen O'Keefe broadcasting that one. Couldn't beat that memory.
Shimmy's three is off the mark there. Higginbotham will take it back out to the three-point line. His three is way off the mark.
Peterson with the steal.
Nice rebound there from Shimmy. Wahid can't tip it in. Carroll now with numbers. Ford will draw a foul in the paint.
And right there, Gonzaga, they had to be more patient there on the offensive end. We saw them, there was 5 misses just on one possession alone. I think you got to get that ball, kick it out. And you see you got a foul there at the end, and that's just kind of the result of a sloppy play there on offense. I think you have to take your time. You had a shot clock reset multiple times, but 5 misses on a possession is not what you want to walk away with.
And Colin, you've gotten to do a lot of games for Gonzaga, and you got to interview a lot of people while you're here at Gonzaga, I'm sure. What was your favorite interview that you did here at Gonzaga? Of course, you had those ice bath, that ice bath series.
The ice bath series was always great. Got to interview a good friend of mine, and now track star at Fordham University, Coach Keith Ergo's former school, Lucas Rohde. So there's that Jesuit tie here with the new Gonzaga basketball coach. One of my all-time favorites was always Coach Steve Turner, though. He always gave me the best answers. One of the great basketball minds in the entire country that was the head coach here for so long. So anytime I got to talk the sport with him was always the best.
The putback is good by Deng. Carroll trying to narrow Gonzaga's lead here. Colin, what have you seen so far from both sides, specifically on the physical end and the defense? What have you seen?
I talked a little bit about Carroll's size earlier, and for them defensively, they press early and often. We see them lined up right here for this matchup, not letting Gonzaga get the ball across half court easily, but then you have an open break just like this one.
Missed layup there from Exton Scott, but then Buyama comes away with it, and he puts it back up for the Eagles.
So there's the high price, high reward for pressing. You can easily get beat as this Carroll squad just faced.
Colin, what would you say the difference is coming back here as an alumni? Does it feel a little bit more special than you were here, or does it feel like just like old times?
You know, as I walked through the doors here on I Street, ran into my former teacher, Mr. Bagliese, and just a lot of memories coming back. So much great time spent here. Sitting here with one of my best friends, William Sweezy. I was just telling him that nothing's better than watching basketball here at Gonzaga.
Higginbotham taking the ball up.
Great patience from this Gonzaga squad. I really thought that's what kept them in the game so far, is they kind of got off to a slow start, but they didn't get away from their game and their patience.
Yeah, and I think it's super interesting to very young players starting on this team, and they have that patience and that maturity. 2 freshmen, Higginbotham 21 and Axon Scott number 3.
Anthony Brown can't knock down the jumper. He has been a little bit off of his game so far. Higginbotham with a nice layup there. Good drive from Higginbotham. Ford gets it to Amadi. Amadi's been shooting a lot recently. He knocks it down.
Wide open Amadi there. You can't let us, you talked about him shooting so much this game. You can't let a scoring threat like that get him easy buckets. Gonzaga's still with this lead, but you can't let up small mistakes like that.
Higginbotham driving. Passes to Scott. Scott with the 3. Banks off. Scott with the rebound.
Gets his own rebound. Higginbotham will give it to Peterson. Another 3-point try for the Eagles. And it's knocked down. Chase Peterson. Now Carroll pushes the pace. And a hard foul from Buyamba. Under the basket. And shooting 2 will be Byron Barrett.
And you see Coach Keith Ergo, he's given a talk to Higginbotham there. As he was looking to the bench for some help after that great offensive set, but he let his matchup go right past him, and that's why Mumbaya ultimately came down with that foul there. You see Coach Keith Ergo, he's letting his point guard know we can't be making those mental mistakes. There's a great offensive possession. We can't be letting that happen down on defense, though. Looks like we're going to get a couple substitutions here for Gonzaga. Oh, is this a flagrant foul? Yeah, I think they just ruled it a flagrant.
Oh, wow.
Flagrant foul, so we'll get 2 shots here from Barrett, and Carroll will maintain possession. First one is knocked down from Byron Barrett.
Looks like Gonzaga's getting almost a wholesale of their substitution lineup here.
Get some fresh legs out on the court. We said very young team earlier, calling in the broadcast. Only 5 returning players from Turner's squad last year.
Yeah, definitely going to have a lot of switchover for when you change coaches. Coach Keith Thurgood, I thought he's done a great job of continuing to build that Gonzaga legacy. Obviously a guy that coached at a high level at Fordham University for a long time. Coming down to the high school level, he is living up to this, but dealing with a young squad nevertheless.
Yeah, done a really good job with recruiting, and getting people here, and people that want to wear the purple.
Jalil Wahid now working. He's going to try a long 3, almost air balls. Then they get it to Farrington in the corner. No good. Some more offensive rebounds for Gonzaga.
Chase Hogg with the hustle. Getting 2 rebounds in there. Very important for this Gonzaga team. Don't have a lot of size, but get those rebounds and you can win these games.
Shimmy with a physical drive there. No foul called. Ergo was looking for it. Anthony Brown with the ball now. Just has 3 points on the night. Unlike him, a 3 here from Barrett is good.
And you can tell Coach Ergo's very fired up. Gonzaga kind of cutting down that lead now. Carroll has cut the lead to 4, which Gonzaga, I believe, had it at 12 point at one point, but they were up a lot. Not sure what the exact was, but they kind of just had a lot of those mistakes. Talk about Coach Keith Ergo. He's getting upset at some of his players there for a minute, but you got to lock in here. This is where it really matters. The last 2 minutes of a half, if Carroll can find some momentum, that could really be detrimental, as you could go into the second half with a close game when Gonzaga has been the better team so far.
Yeah, these last 2 minutes of prime time in the first half of play here. How have you seen the crowd affect momentum and stuff like that? Obviously, Gonzaga's student section is among one of the best in the DMV, so how have you experienced that?
I mean, we really saw it was the first quarters where that energy really mattered the most, as Gonzaga started to pull away after that slow start. We saw the crowd start to erupt. We saw the student section get to their feet. That can really matter in the momentum of a game. If you are starting to make fast plays and you get the crowd involved, that can be a game changer, and that's what Gonzaga's going to need to rely on in these last 2 minutes, is get this crowd some energy and try to go into the end of the half strong and then come out of halftime even stronger, because that middle 2 minutes on each side, the middle of the game, is one of the most important parts of who can dictate the pace.
Well, we've seen Gonzaga's student section obviously affect games extremely heavily, as a nice steal there from Carroll. Anthony Brown would dish it inside. Physical layup there from Dang. Gonzaga's lead is just 2 now. A sloppy pass is picked back up by Buyamba. Chase Hogg, a wide open 3, rims out. Farrington with a nice rebound. Loose ball. A lot of offensive rebounds here for Gonzaga early. Farrington knocks it down, and the lead is 5 for Gonzaga.
Farrington's one of the smallest guys on the court there, but we saw him get a rebound, which shows that he knows how to play the game the right way and find the right spot despite his size. They see him take a charge right there.
Farrington uses the tall body of Eamon to cause a charging foul there.
And it's about finding the right spots when you're a smaller guard. You're facing against the bigger forwards. That positioning matters even more than some of your size.
Well, here he is again. Farrington can't hit. Rebound from Anthony Brown. The Vanderbilt commit puts the brakes on, and the 3 is no good.
As we near
Visibly frustrated here.
the last seconds of this second quarter and of this first half.
Anthony Brown is extremely frustrated with how he's played so far.
Certainly, Gonzaga came out almost face guarding him to start this game. They are going to say if Carroll's going to beat us, it's not going to be because of Anthony Brown.
Some more ball handling from Farrington, and he's going to get fouled. He'll shoot two.
I think Gonzaga guys helping him up over there.
Yeah, a couple football guys behind the basket there.
A guy in Carter Meadows, former Gonzaga basketball player, played his first 3 years here. Let me tell you, he is one heck of an athlete, one of the most athletic guys I've ever watched on the court. I remember when I was broadcasting a game with the great Mike Wilbon from ESPN here at Gonzaga, there was a Carter Meadows alley-oop that might have been one of the greatest plays I've ever seen.
I saw a similar great play like that over at St. John's last year in front of the then Michigan head coach, showing off Friday Night Lights.
Yeah.
It's crazy. And Boney over at St. John's, also a Michigan commit. Those two just going after each other on the basketball court.
Certainly, Carter Meadows, a guy to look out for, the Mason Blue next year, the great football player that he is. Gonzaga basketball misses him, but I'm sure Michigan football is probably happy he's not flying around on a court and is saving himself for the gridiron.
I think so. And, of course, he'll join Kainoa Winston, another Gonzaga graduate, plays safety at Michigan.
Another sloppy turnover there from Carroll gives the ball back to Gonzaga. And now some physical defense here from Anthony Brown.
About a 7-second difference in the shot clock and the game clock.
Buyamba and one under the rim, and then gets trucked by his own teammate, and he'll go to the line to make it a three-point play.
And around that 2-minute mark, we talked about how can the energy erupt. We hear the crowd pop on that call there, and Gonzaga really locked it. We talked about they got it down to a 4-point lead, Carroll did. And since then, Gonzaga has been almost lights out, getting themselves 35-26. And that is that 2-minute swing in at the end of the half and the beginning of the second half that is so crucial that Gonzaga has really executed here. 3-point play, even bigger.
Well, that 2-point lead that Carroll had worked so hard to get back to has now become a 10-point lead for Gonzaga. They're going to get Chase Hogg on a foul here. 5 seconds left to go.
A lot of contact. If you didn't know, Chase Hogg, former JV lacrosse player. He was a fantastic teammate back in his day, early years here at Gonzaga. He might have thought he still had a lacrosse stick at that point. He had his hands extended, but had to shout out his lacrosse skills when I got a chance.
Actually, talking to him recently, he still reminisces on those days.
Crowd is upset. A foul will be called. That one on Chase Peterson.
And that is so tough. You getting a foul call with 1 second left in the half, that can only extend your team to foul trouble. The team fouls. If he fouls out of this game, you're going to remember that 1 second call left in the game.
Elin now has a chance, and then they're going to get a foul on Dave Buyamba.
And that is, I talked about the one with 1 second foul left. How about 0.3 seconds on your big man, Mumbaya, somebody that you can't afford to get into foul trouble, and that is just one that you don't need to see.
And it's a 3-point play here now. 3 shots on the charity stripe.
Coach feels that he got the ball on that one, tipped it first before making contact, and Coach also upset that that shot was even getting off in the first place. So
I think the whole gym feels that way. That was a big crowd pop on a foul. So now Elin.
Sure, the Carroll side was over there laughing at how was that a foul call.
The ref just gave Coach Ergo a warning. So looks like he needs to maybe dial it back here. There's 0.7 seconds left on this clock.
Yeah, we saw earlier in the JV game it got a little heated and there were technical fouls given out.
Well, this game between Archbishop Carroll and Gonzaga is no stranger to technical fouls. We saw one earlier in the game. Last year, Archbishop Carroll's coach was kicked out of the gym.
Yeah.
When you get to the Battle of North Capitol, there's probably nothing more heated. 2 schools located on the same street, 2 different parts of Washington, D.C. I mean, there's nothing better than WCC basketball and nothing better than this rivalry right here as we're seeing so many great teams in the WCAC, and this one's certainly heated.
Who doesn't like a Friday or Tuesday night in the WCAC?
Well, the clock has been adjusted, now 0.1 seconds, so about as close as you can get to the half being over, and 2 fouls called on Gonzaga. That'll hurt them later on.
And thank you, Colin, for joining us, and we're going to hand it off to Henry Hook and Connor Quigley for the halftime show.
All right, ready? Just come in. Right. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Coach Meyer's Court here in the Carmody Center. It is currently 36-24 Gonzaga in this game versus Carroll. So far, it has been all Gonzaga. Henry, what's the biggest takeaway from this first half?
Well, the biggest takeaway is we did not expect Gonzaga to be winning by 7 right now. We really expected a Carroll domination, but Gonzaga have looked like the better team. And they've even made, there's places that we know they can improve, but it looks like they have been improving throughout the course of the season. They look a lot better than they had at the DC Classic.
Yeah, I think for me it's been the defense. Gonzaga's defense has looked aggressive at all parts, and they're forcing turnovers. Anthony Brown had 2 turnovers in the first 4 minutes. Brown was a player that we expected to be the big factor in this game, and Brown and Carroll itself has a lot of turnovers. If you're Anthony Brown, if you're Carroll, what do you think the message is for them going into half? How are they going to limit these turnovers?
Well, you're right. Carroll need to clean up the mistakes. We're seeing mistakes almost every possession. We've seen drop passes. We've seen overthrown passes. We've seen air balls. They aren't getting their rebounds. They just need to clean it up, and they need to be a little bit more clinical in the second half here.
Yeah. So we talked about Gonzaga's defense. What do you think is going well for this offense, or at least going well enough to be having the 7-point lead right now?
Well, when I look at it, I look at the way they're getting the ball to everyone. The passings, they're finding open players. Chase Peterson's seen about 5 great looks at 3. I mean, Dave's finding his lanes. They're really moving the ball around really well in the first half. And if they want to continue this lead, they're going to have to continue that into the second half.
Yeah, 100%. When I looked at that first quarter right there, Dylan Higginbotham was a standout player. He was hitting threes, driving to the lane, getting lots of rebounds. He was great. And also, secondly, they're getting points off the bench. Their bench has looked huge. With a guy like Farrington, a guy like Shimmy, the bench is really coming into their roles, and we're really starting to see what this team can look like come postseason, come St. John's, come PBI, when we're faced with these tougher matchups, how these guys are going to step up into their new roles and how are they going to compete with some other teams that are highly talked of.
Yeah, we know they aren't a 5-person team, and they've really got some great depth. We've even seen players like Jack Lynch come in and make an impact. They really have a full team of players, and all these players can make an impact at any moment, and they're showing it right now.
Yeah, from 1 to 12, Gonzaga's roster has looked deep. And for Carroll, it's been Dang with 6 points, and Chima Amadi also with 6 points. Carroll's offense, I haven't seen a spark out of them. We know that they have the potential. They put up 90 points in their last game against Sandy Spring Friends, but you're not seeing that explosiveness from this offense. They look sloppy, a lot of turnovers. We've seen them commit charges, getting the ball taken away. That is what they need to stop. How is Gonzaga going to step on the gas here and continue to amp up this great defense?
Well, Gonzaga can step on the gas the same way Carroll needs to step on the gas. Gonzaga made their own clumsy mistakes in the first half. You saw, unfortunately, Dave Muyumba over there giving up 3 foul shots with 0.1 left on the clock there. They've made a few mistakes, but so have Carroll. Carroll have just made more mistakes, and I feel like that's the difference right now.
Yeah, 100%. The issue we saw Anthony Brown towards the end of the half getting to the free throw line. That is when he is dangerous. You see him drive, you see him play aggressive. If Anthony Brown gets to the charity stripe, that's how Carroll will sneak back into this game. You've got to know they're playing aggressive defense. Right now, they're hugging the line. They're playing aggressive, but aggressive enough where the fouls aren't getting too costly and they're not giving up what they're putting in. You have to continue to hug that line, because if you get too aggressive, you see a guy like Anthony Brown get to the free throw line, this game will start to get scary.
We all know how good Anthony Brown is, the 4-star, but he hasn't really been able to work into this game. Like he said, he went into the charity stripe towards the end of the half, but before that, we really didn't even notice him on the court. He made 2 turnovers earlier, and he really needs to work in the game if Carroll want to remain competitive in this game, because he is their star player, and he's going to have to start showing it if Carroll want to get back into this.
Yeah, 100%. I also want to point out both of the Miyamba brothers are performing excellently so far. I think throughout this season, you're seeing them really step up into a leadership role, into a star role. Obviously, it was a tough break right there with Allen at the three-point shot, but seeing these guys get into the game, we saw Allen knock down a huge three. They're grabbing that defense. Defense is really where Allen strives. No one is gonna get in the post, into the paint over Allen Miyamba. Not in this league. He is he is Smoke City, as they call my friend on my CYO basketball team, but he is the big defense, and he's what's stopping Carroll from under 30 points in this first half.
Mm-hmm. But you can't say Allen and not mention Dave. He's been Gonzaga's brightest spot on offense. He's been driving with great authority into the lane there. He's been making his layups. He's been clinical, and he's been the best finisher on Gonzaga so far this season. And we all knew how much he could thrive after seeing his first season as a freshman, but he just seems to have developed and gotten better as a sophomore, and is going to be an exciting couple of years watching David Muyamba here.
Yeah, speaking of exciting, one thing we haven't really touched on yet is the student section. It seems like it's just an act, but the student section for both sides plays a huge part into the game. When you see the students get behind the team, it gives them a sense of comfort, gives them a sense of loyalty and respect that they love to see, and they want to play for the student section. From both teams, how do you think that Carroll is going to interact with that student? How do you think that they're going to deal with Gonzaga student section?
Well, they dealt with it pretty well. You saw them go to the charity stripe, but I think they've only missed 1 free throw in that half. I mean, they've been impressive in front of a incredible atmosphere here in the Carmody Center, and so they've dealt with it well so far, but how are they going to deal with it, especially towards the end of the game? People start fatiguing, they get louder. It'll be interesting to see how they deal with the student section here.
Yeah, as we start to wrap up this first halftime show of the basketball season, I just want to touch on one more thing, is that this game has been so high-paced. We're seeing fouls we're saying full-court offense, full-court defense. This is the high school basketball you want to see. You want to see WCA basketball all over the court. It might get a little sloppy, but these are the best athletes in the country, and they are doing it right now here in the Carmody Center.
Certainly exciting to watch.
Yep. All right. Well, that is this for us. We'll bring it back to Jack and JD. Thank you for turning in.
And welcome back to the Carmody Center as we are about to begin play of the second half between Archbishop Carroll and the Gonzaga Eagles. Gonzaga holds a 7-point lead so far they've been able to hold the 4-star Anthony Brown to just 3 points in the first half. So great job by their physical defense. And we'll see what happens in the second half and if Anthony Brown can turn it on for his Archbishop Carroll Lions.
Yeah, that's the huge story, of course. As many people have followed Head Tap recently on Instagram, they have mentioned his many attributes, 30 points, 30 points, 30 points, but so far in this game he has 3 points, and that is attributed to Gonzaga's strong defense and how well they've come out of this game. And I think especially Chase Peterson and Chase Hogg have played exceptional defense on Ant Brown.
Well, I was going to mention Chase Peterson. He and Anthony Brown have been getting a little bit chippy here and there in between plays, so he's definitely been disrupting his prolific scoring ability. So great job there from Chase Peterson on Gonzaga's side. On the side of Archbishop Carroll, they've done a phenomenal job pushing the pace and getting points in the paint. Dave Buyamba and Alan Buyamba have had a tough time guarding their bigs, and that can be partially attributed to the great passing skills by Carroll's guards.
And Gonzaga's also dominated the offensive boards, which has kept them has kept this lead larger than it has been.
Now Anthony Brown will look to attack. Loses his dribble a little bit, and then a bad pass is recovered. They'll reset here. Around 17 seconds on the shot clock.
Alan Boyamba, strong defense, blocks him.
It'll stay with Carroll. 9 seconds on the shot clock here. Bam Bolding will inbound it for the Lions.
And Allen, the brothers on Ant Brown, causing a missed shot.
They're going to get an on-the-floor foul on Axton Scott. Scott looking a little bit confused there. That'll be his first foul and Gonzaga's first team foul of the quarter.
Of course, Axton Scott is just a freshman, so he has so much to learn and has so much potential in these conference matchups. Dave Boyamba with the rebound. Chase Peterson to Axton Scott.
Axton Scott gets it to Dave Buyamba, and he will be fouled by Brighton Barrett. Buyamba will now go to the line. Second foul on Archbishop Carroll's Brighton Barrett.
Dave's first shot from the charity stripe is good.
Second one, a little bit too strong. Rebound there from Brighton Barrett.
And Chase Peterson was quick to go right after Ant Brown. Ant Brown asking for a pick here.
Nice penetration on the defense, and then good defense there from Dave Buyamba to disrupt Anthony Brown's pass. Now he puts the brakes on him, guarded tightly by Alan Buyamba. Now Donovan Ford misses his layup, and Buyamba gets the rebound.
That great defense by there by Alan Boyamba.
Peterson is fouled as he goes to the rim. That foul goes to Matiok Dang, his second. Chase's first is knocked down. This shot to make it a 10-point lead here early in the second half. A little bit too strong. Brighton Barrett gets the rebound. Anthony Brown pushing the pace as he goes down the court. A steal from Higginbotham. Higginbotham will now push the pace. Axton Scott will reset here for Gonzaga. Higginbotham will try to set up his offense as he's guarded closely by Chima Amadi. into the paint. Buyamba with a nice reverse layup there. And now Peterson, some more aggressive defense now on Bam Boulding.
Peterson quick to go after Ant Brown.
Anthony Brown gets it to Amadi. Amadi working on Buyamba is blocked by Dave Buyamba. The brothers with some tag team defense there. Now Higginbotham. Gonzaga will draw a foul under the basket. That's the third foul on Matiok Deng, the 6'7" senior. Buyamba can't get the roll. Offensive rebound from Chase Peterson. Axton Scott has his pass stolen. Nice defense there from Carroll. They needed it if they want to stay in this game. Anthony Brown having a really tough time against this physical defense. Axton Scott will reset for Gonzaga. We've seen a lot of physicality on both sides of the ball from their defense.
And strategic timeout there from Keith Ergo. It's interesting the similarity between the Buyamba brothers. They both have 8 points in this game and have been dominating the boards there for Gonzaga, keeping them and keeping this lead alive. There's an 11-point lead with 5 minutes and 13 seconds remaining in the third quarter.
They've done a phenomenal job on the defensive end, especially. A lot of offensive rebounds, but they've been part of why Anthony Brown has been so slowed down. So great job on the defensive end by not just the Buyamba brothers, but the entire defensive unit.
It shows how much this Gonzaga team grew over winter break. They played in New York. First they went to Philly, then they had Christmas break, then they went to New York, and then they came back to DC for a game, Jack, and then they went back to Philly. They did a lot of traveling and a lot of growing, a lot of wins, and played some good competition, and then opened up, back up WCAC play on Tuesday and fell to DeMatha, but looking to build up this conference record, which is currently sitting at 0-2.
Well, Gonzaga started off their season just 2-2 with a couple sloppy losses and a couple not impressive wins, but so far since then they've been 8-3. And then now we're going to get a technical foul on Amadi, who was talking trash to Alan Buyamba as he ran down the floor.
And great discipline. We talked about this in football season. Alan Buyamba is a former football player. He had the discipline not to say anything there. Just let him say whatever he wanted, and that's where you get that technical foul, because he didn't repeat and he didn't instigate. He de-escalated that situation, Jack.
Nice composure there from Alan Buyamba. And Amadi has been a little bit irritated by the crowd and Gonzaga's bench. They've been getting a little bit under his skin, so he lets it get to him there. But he's been one of the leading scorers for Carroll tonight, so he needs to stay away from all the fouls. He actually is their leading scorer tonight with 9 points. 3 threes from Amadi.
Jalil Wahid looking to inbound this pass. Indiana is after the first quarter. If those of you who are not watching the Indiana-Oregon game, which my cousin is actually attending, Jack, Indiana is up 14, Oregon up 7 as we get a deep three from TJ Farrington.
Farrington hyping up the crowd after that shot. Bam Boulding will get it into the corner, and Barrett can't answer. And then a defensive rebound by Alan Buyamba.
Chase Hogg driving in. Dave Buyamba with the rebound. Dave with another rebound off his head. And Carroll has numbers here.
Anthony Brown pushes the pace. Bam Boulding is going to be fouled under the rim.
That actually was a block, I believe, or in my opinion, of TJ Farrington, but they called it a foul. Not letting the guy get his block. Jack, as we're taking this foul shots for Bam Bolding, how amazing is it, this Indiana program turnaround?
I don't know. All I know is that a coach can do a lot for a program. We learned that here at Gonzaga. And Kurt Signetti has turned that program on its head. So great job over at Indiana as they're up 14-7. Chase Hogg breaks the press there, gets it to Buyamba on somewhat of a fast break. Does a great job there of breaking the press. Gonzaga has a 10-point lead now. Elin getting into the post. Another rebound from Buyamba.
And Gonzaga is looking to slow this game down a little bit. Chase Hogg with Amp Brown on him. Great bounce pass. Great scrappiness by Allen. Buyamba.
Phenomenal job diving on that ball. Leads to an extra chance for Gonzaga. Farrington gets the offensive rebound.
Playing some volleyball out there.
Buyamba.
Jalil Wahid open in the wide corner, but
Farrington can't connect from deep. Anthony Brown gets it into Bam Bolding, who is fouled very hard under the basket. That one's on TJ Farrington.
That's his second. That's his third, pardon me.
So TJ Farrington now in a little bit of foul trouble for Gonzaga.
Second time we've seen him on the line in a little while. So you can see there's a sign in the top right corner over by the Heisman winning retired number, Caleb Williams, 18. It says, "We run the North," meaning North Capitol Street. It's interesting because Caleb Williams also runs the North. That is the NFC North. Huge game against the Packers tomorrow. Go Bears.
A little bit of correlation there.
There's a little bit of correlation there. Packers green over there too in the rerun the North, which is not true.
They're going to get a foul on Elin Najkov now, as Archbishop Carroll's coach Malcolm Battle is now getting a little bit more intense as the clock ticks down. Archbishop Carroll running out of time to make a comeback here. Down 11. Chase Peterson will go to the line as Gonzaga is now in the bonus.
And that foul was by Najkov. Peterson makes his first. Peterson puts it back up, gets that rebound.
Phenomenal job from Chase Peterson. Now another foul. Fouls are being called left and right now.
Really getting chippy. That foul's on Chase Hogg, his third. Malcolm Battle, the Carroll coach, is not happy with some of these calls over here. Looked like Chase Peterson was rucking over him, rugby term there.
Nice defense here from Chase Hogg. Physical. That's what Anthony Brown has hated so far this game. Nice rebound there from Patrick Shimmy. Keith Urgo trying to communicate to his guys to slow it down here, try and take off some clock. Wahid kicks it into the corner. Now gets it back at the top of the key, and Peterson finally gets the memo to slow it down. Shot clock at 12 seconds here. Guarded closely by Anthony Brown. Now a switch, and then the ball goes off of the head of Brayton Barrett. 5 seconds here for Gonzaga.
In comes Victor Adamai. Adamidi, pardon me.
Wahid with a nice pass there from almost half court into the post. And then a steal from Carroll. Ant gets it into the corner. Van Bolding can't connect. And a rebound by Chase Hogg. But then we're going to get a jump ball that'll go to Gonzaga.
Great physicality there by Chog. As we talked earlier with Colin Smith, talked about it. He used to play lacrosse, and I can't imagine that physicality. Just a game break. Heis Mendoza's first and goal. Pitches it. Runs over hurdles. So it'll be a second and goal.
So they're actually going to call that a foul now. That'll be on Amadi, and since Gonzaga's in the bonus, Chase Hogg will get to shoot 2 free throws now. Gonzaga's lead stands at 14 right now. Archbishop Carroll led by 5 at one point. We're going to get a lane violation, but it won't matter because Chase Hogg knocks down the free throw.
Chase Hogg playing stellar defense on Ant Brown. Switches with shimmy.
Beautiful moves there from Anthony Brown. Eventually kicks it. Now a 3 is good. Amadi hits from downtown. He's got 12 points, and all 12 of them have come from beyond the arc. Gonzaga's ball here, leading by 12.
An inbound pass, almost a football play.
A little bit of a risky decision by Wahid. He takes it back.
Pump faked it.
Can't hit. Anthony Brown trying to put some momentum back into Carroll's life. He hits from way downtown. That one was from Georgetown. Anthony Brown, his 6th point of the game, but it's a big one to try and give Archbishop Carroll some more momentum.
And just another game break. Indiana has just scored a touchdown, 21-7. Go Hoosiers.
Phenomenal job there from Anthony Brown to pump the brakes and fire from deep.
And I think what really needs to happen here, Jack, is this Gonzaga student section needs to put energy back into this team. This team hasn't lost a lot of energy, but this student section can give them that energy that can give them the edge and win this game. We've seen that in championships throughout all sports here at Gonzaga, whether it be at Navy, whether it be at American. This student section can change games, and it can help impact games for the better for Gonzaga.
Well, Gonzaga's done a phenomenal job all night of guarding all of Archbishop Carroll tightly, not just Anthony Brown, but at this point, Anthony Brown, you do not want to let him heat up.
And this is where some of those fouls from earlier in the game could hurt Gonzaga. You know, guarding Anthony Brown is not the easiest thing to do, and that has cost Chase Hogg and that has cost Chase Peterson. Both a couple of fouls. And Gonzaga's ball down low. It looks like Jacob Williams will take it. TJ Farrington, pardon me. Jacob Williams is going to go in motion.
Farrington gets it into Dave Buyamba. And now Farrington guarded extremely tightly by Bolding. Physical defense here from Archbishop Carroll.
The senior on the freshman, pardon me.
Higginbotham working on it. Brown. Alan Buyamba gets it into his brother. Dave scores for Gonzaga. Their lead is now double digits again.
They've been working on that since the drive-away, since both of them could walk, I'm sure.
Offensive foul's not called. Everyone was begging for it, but a no call from the ref. Anthony Brown working on Jacob Williams. The step back 3 is no good, but he's fouled. And he's now going to get to shoot 3. that foul on Jacob Williams.
Calls did not go both ways on that play. Clearly missed a foul on Anthony Brown.
Anthony Brown's first is knocked down. He has a chance to make Gonzaga's lead just 8. And with a lot of time left in the game, he has a chance to help Carroll complete a comeback of a Gonzaga lead that was once 17.
This is where that summer conditioning work can come into play. Gonzaga, we said, was out on the field 3 days a week, weightlifting 3 days a week in the off season, doing the work to make them better.
Second one is knocked down by Anthony Brown. Gonzaga's lead is 8.
In comes Chase Peterson for Jacob Williams.
Peterson gets it to Alan Buyamba. Now he's going to bring it down the floor for Gonzaga. Farrington gets it to Higginbotham, who's going to try and waste a little bit of time. You've got 32 seconds left to go in the third quarter.
About a 14-second difference between the shot clock and game clock.
Both teams in the bonus here. Higginbotham with a spin move. Tries to get it in the corner. It'll be out of bounds. Carroll will take over. Shot clock is turned off in the third quarter here.
And Brown taking the ball up again. Tightly guarded by Chase Peterson.
Brown with a Euro step. Tries to get through Alan Buyamba.
Airballs it.
It'll stay with Gonzaga. Or excuse me, stay with Archbishop Carroll. 10 seconds on the dot here for the Lions. Student section letting him hear it. And we'll get a timeout here by Carroll.
Yeah, it's his second air ball of the night. Not something we've seen from him very much this season. And Gonzaga's definitely gotten his head a little bit and starting to take a little bit more risky shots.
Well, like Colin Smith said in the second quarter, the student section, and actually like you said also, the student section has a lot of power in their hands to try and get some life back into this Gonzaga team that looks tired. Both teams look tired. It's been a physical game.
This physicality is a good thing for basketball. And this is a physical league, Jack. All of these games are rivalry games, really. They all mean more. This is the greatest conference in the country. They used to say the SEC, it just means more, but in the WCAC, it does mean more.
Rebound there from Buyamba after a failed opportunity from Carroll. Peterson will throw it up at the end of the quarter.
That would have been a WZAG top 10.
Oh yeah, it would.
End of the year, you know.
We've got 8 minutes left to go here for the Battle of North Capitol. It's an 8-point lead for Gonzaga. Can they hold on?
I think they can if they continue playing defense and limit the shots getting up. But the one thing that they really need to work on is discipline on the fouls. They cannot foul out. A lot of these guys are getting close to foul trouble, have 2 or 3 fouls. And if they get to those 5 fouls, they can no longer play in this game. So they need to limit the number of fouls and make sure that they don't send Carroll into the bonus.
Well, Archbishop Carroll's done a nice job of trying to maintain not a lot of fouls. Anthony Brown with not a lot at all. They've only got 2 guys at 3 fouls, so good job here for Archbishop Carroll. And we'll see how those fouls come into effect here in the fourth quarter of play.
And the tarps are coming off in the student section, so you already know it's about to get a lot rowdier here.
The tradition lives on at Gonzaga.
Skin it to win it.
Haven't heard that one before. I like that. Chase Peterson will inbound for the Eagles.
And Higginbotham with the pass to Buyamba. That is Alan Ant Brown has come to play in this fourth quarter. He's already upping the intensity. He knows he needs to show out and have this be his best quarter of the game. With Chase Peterson kind of being his kryptonite here.
Picking him up at three-quarter court
Wants
here.
a pick right.
Nice moves here from Anthony Brown.
He picks himself.
His own teammate getting in the way a little bit. Kicks it into the corner. The three-point shooter can't hit. Now it's Brighton. Brighton will get called for the charge.
Another charge taken by TJ Farrington, using his height to his advantage there. Not something you say to the guy normally as the smallest guy on the court, but he really used his size there to his advantage.
Well, Farrington, as Colin Smith said, when you're a guard of that size, it's all about positioning. And so he's done a great job here tonight, drawing multiple charges. Higginbotham gets it to Alan Buyamba. We've seen him hit from once. He can't hit again. A nice rebound from his brother. Now Dave Buyamba knocks it down. And Dave throws up the bicep.
One thing I'll tell you about Dave, Jack, he's always in that weight room. He's always working, getting that extra work in. He even hangs out in the weight room because he loves going in there so much, Jack. And he's always got a smile on his face around campus. I don't know if you've noticed that, Jack.
Anthony Brown dishes out. We're going to get a foul here. Off the ball from Archbishop Carroll. Nice job. TJ Farrington's been drawing fouls all over the place. And all of a sudden, Brighton Barrett has 4 fouls. So as I mentioned, in between quarters, Archbishop Carroll's done a nice job of staying out of foul trouble. Brighton Barrett actually now at 5 fouls. A little bit of confusion here about how many fouls he's at.
And that's actually it for him. There's a little bit of a fight here at the bench on how many he has.
Getting chippy here.
And that's it for him. Brighton Barrett is done for the game. Carroll's bench is trying to say he only has 4, but that is not what the scorebooks say. There are 3 scorebooks at this table.
So one of the impact players for Carroll, who's been grabbing rebounds the whole night. He's been phenomenal for them. He's now out of the game as Hogg is guarded tightly. Now Buyamba. We don't see him out in the perimeter much, but here he is. Peterson penetrates. Reverse layup can't go. Nice rebound there, but they're going to get a foul on Alan Buyamba.
These guys are blowing the whistle a lot today, not letting these fellas play. A great quote from Pat McAfee recently, or actually a quote that he heard from the referees of the college football playoff. We're not in the business of them watching us. We want the guys to play, and I think that's another charge.
Some more off-the-ball fouls here. This one's on Victor Adeyemi. We haven't heard his name much tonight, but he's been on the floor grabbing rebounds. He'll come off.
That's 3 fouls in less than 2 minutes, Jack. And as a reminder to all those fans out there, 5 fouls puts you into the double bonus. Another foul there. That is 4 fouls in 2 minutes in this game.
It's unbelievable. I mean, we've talked so much about how it's been such a physical game, but...
And we talked before this quarter started how important it is to have that discipline.
Gonzaga gets it across half court. Buyamba finds Hogg. Some long distance passes for Gonzaga, and Peterson will slow it down. Attacking Boulding off the dribble.
Brother to brother.
Dave in the post against E-Man. Dave Buyamba has been a problem for Carroll in the paint. He gets it done again against Elon. Brown is fouled by Alan Buyamba. And he has to get calmed down by his brother.
That's his second. That's good discipline there. Only 2 fouls in almost 4 quarters of play.
Both those fouls have come in the 4th quarter, so Alan Buyamba has racked up 2 fouls quick, but just around 5.5 minutes left to go. Carroll desperately trying to scratch their way back into this game. If they want to do that, they've got to find a way to stop Dave Buyamba in the post.
And they got to not have another foul for a very long time, because that is a free 2 points. They call it the charity stripe for a reason. In comes a sub. Oh, I guess not at the moment for Carroll. In comes Dave taking up the ball. Don't see that a lot from the big man.
Thrown out, and a little bit of confusion here by the refs. Some disagreement between the officials.
Starting to get rowdy in here again.
Gonzaga. It's been chippy all night between both sides of the gym, the Carroll side and Gonzaga side. Not just that, also the players on the court. Peterson to bring it in. Gets it to Chase Hogg. Hogg's got 3 seconds to get it across midcourt. Gets it across. Peterson trying to avoid backcourt, and it's going to happen. Chase Peterson with backcourt violation.
The referee missed the tip there by Carroll, so that would not have been a backcourt if he saw the tip. Just another shout out to Indiana. Indiana is now up 28-7 in the Peach Bowl in Atlanta, Georgia. Looking to meet Miami a week from Monday in Miami.
And Brown will find his teammate on the wing, and we've got some more fouls going around. It's on Chase Hogg, who was actually trying to draw the foul, but
Chase got stiff-armed, but got called for the foul.
wet spot on the court. And it cleaned up by
Referee timeout.
our referee. Got just around 5 minutes left to go.
Some of the Gonzaga students sitting over there hyping him up, letting the freshman manager and the student sections going crazy.
It's nice to look into the student section. And
They even got a chant going for him.
Nice to look into the
Too
student
locked
section
in.
and see all of your classmates there. Nice physical drive to the basket. Bam Bolding makes it an 8-point deficit.
Peterson taking the ball up the court, as we've said a lot today. Dave with the ball. Dave to Peterson. Peterson guarded by Brown. Allen with the ball. Passes it off Brown.
It'll stay with Gonzaga. 11 seconds on the shot clock here. Carroll needs to man up defensively. And now their side of the gym is getting a little bit of a chant going.
It's the parents section actually starting these chants, not like a booster club of sorts.
Alan Buyama in the post. Can't get it to go. Regardless, he will go to the line.
And that is the beginning of the double bonus for tonight. And that will keep Gonzaga in the double bonus for the rest of the game.
Well, I obviously don't have the stats in front of me, but I mean, if I could look at the amount of fouls just in general tonight between all of the teams, it's unbelievable. The most I've ever seen. First one is knocked down.
And Brown is not happy with his performance so far, as he's having a conversation with his coach. And Alan Boyama will be taking his second shot.
Nice rebound there from Amadi. And Ant Brown needs to take over for Archbishop Carroll. Amadi now has a wide open three. And he hits. Chima Amadi brings Gonzaga's lead down to 6.
57-51. We have a game, folks. We have a game. 4 minutes and 18 seconds. 5 fouls for Carroll, 3 fouls for Gonzaga. This is going to be a tough one right to the end. Feeling we might be coming to a buzzer beater of sorts or something like that. Saw a great buzzer beater last year against Paul VI. And I'm looking forward to the rest of this game. How about you, Jack?
I'm looking forward to watching the physicality. These teams, I've said it a million times, have been so physical tonight, and just watching them thrive under those physical moments in the game. I'm excited to see what they can come up with defensively and to beat those defenses that have been so good tonight. What can they do offensively? Ant Brown needs to somewhat take over tonight. He's been at some points quadruple guarded by Gonzaga's defense, so kicking it out into the three-point arc, which Carroll's been doing a good job tonight of scoring, especially Amadi, who we just saw knock down that three.
I agree, and I think Ant Brown really needs to keep his cool here. If he doesn't keep his cool, he could get himself into foul trouble, possibly get a technical foul for his team or something of the sorts. He needs to calm down and trust his basketball ability.
Some more chance coming for Carroll. Buyamba throws a deep pass. It's intercepted. That looks like football. Ant Brown now working on Higginbotham. He'll try a three, and it's no good. Big Buyamba now on a fast break. Allen goes to the rack. Almost tore the backboard down.
Bam, Bolding looked too little under that play. Great pass.
What is going on? There's a lot of confusion going on here. Ant Brown looked like he may have almost turned it over there.
Yep, foul on Ant Brown, actually. And Dave went over to talk to him and go protect his brother there. He might be bigger, but he's still a little brother and looks up to his brother.
Well, since Gonzaga is in the bonus, as we mentioned, 2 shots coming up here for Higginbotham, who is one of the best shooters.
Yeah, Alan Buyamba.
As he'll come out, and Alan Buyamba, who was the person who was actually fouled. There's a lot going on.
Coaches in their first matchup having a little fun with each other.
This is the first time that, as you mentioned, this is the first time that Coach Keith Urgo and Malcolm Battle have seen each other so far. Buyamba knocks down his first. Nice job under composure. Both of these coaches fairly new. Malcolm Battle in his 3rd season.
Both played for their prospective teams, are alums, played basketball for their teams. Coach Urgo, of course, won a lacrosse and basketball WCAC championship.
Buyamba stays cool under pressure. Ant Brown now attacking. His layup is good. Nice job there from Ant Brown. It's a 6-point lead for Gonzaga. Can they hold on? Higginbotham now trying to break the press. Guarded extremely tightly by Donovan Ford. TJ Farrington gets it back to Higginbotham. Higginbotham penetrates. Nice rebound there. Under the basket, Buyamba can't get it. Now we're going to get a foul.
Foul on Ant Brown, who over here standing in front of us took more care of calling the travel for the ref than actually playing defense. And TJ Farrington to the line, the shooter.
That's the 3rd foul on Ant Brown.
That would be huge for Gonzaga if they could get him to foul out.
Got some more free throws coming up. Farrington can't hit on his first. This is an intense scene here in the Carmody Center. The Battle of North Capitol is always intense. And we've got another thriller from I Street. Farrington, his second, rattles around and goes in. It's a 7-point lead for Gonzaga. Ant Brown with just around 3 minutes and 20 seconds left to go. The Vanderbilt commit. Can he lead his team to a victory over Gonzaga? Something Carroll hasn't done in over 10 years. His floater's no good.
It's his third air ball of the night. Not on brand for him.
Amadi gets it over to Bolding. Bolding almost turns it over. Ant Brown is blocked.
Get that out of here, Alan Boyamba. Rejects Anthony Brown. Vanderbilt, where's his offer?
We've got 4 seconds here. Anthony Brown almost loses it again. Now it goes to Gonzaga.
And my statistician has just said in my ear, Dave Boyamba has a double-double tonight, Jack.
Boyamba has been unbelievable. Higginbotham loses a defender. Now Donovan
gets the ball back.
This is unbelievable.
What a game we have here in the Carmody Center.
Higginbotham gets it to Boyamba. This has been an absolute mess on both sides. Now it's going to be out of bounds. Archbishop Carroll takes over. This has been an absolute mess. I don't know what's going on.
Are we watching basketball here, Jack? Because this is moving quick.
This is amazing.
So bad.
We've got a 7-point lead with just around 2.5 minutes left to go. Student section getting into the head.
As we said earlier, Jack, this student section can play so much into a game, and they're intense. They're excited.
Coach Urgo's going to make a couple substitutions.
In comes Chase Hogg.
Chase for Chase. Chase Hogg comes in for Peterson. Ant Brown.
Hogg playing great defense here.
In an intense situation. He's going to draw a foul on Chase Hogg. That shot will not count. And Chase Hogg, I believe, now has 4 fouls. Yeah, that's the 4th on Chase Hogg. Chase Peterson will come back in.
And this puts Gonzaga close to sending Carroll to the double bonus. 4 fouls.
Amadi, who's been an amazing 3-point shooter here so far for Carroll.
TJ Farrington is on Ilan Najkov, who's a foot taller than him, Jack.
Amadi can't hit his jumper. Right around 2 minutes left to go.
There's a foot difference in that matchup.
Boyamba fakes out Amadi, goes to the rack, and is fouled. These free throws can make it a 9-point lead. Boyamba getting coached up right in front of us by the experienced Coach Urgo. Boyamba, who's been so good under pressure, can't hit there. 3 seconds over, 2 minutes left to go in a heated matchup.
This might be one of the better Gonzaga-Carroll matchups we've seen in a very long time, Jack.
It's an 8-point lead for Gonzaga. Ant Brown working on Peterson. Step back 3, rims out. And a physical rebound from Alan Boyamba.
Ant Brown's shots have not been going down tonight.
Peterson will get into the corner. Barrington, a big shot, can't hit. Another offensive rebound. Boyamba with the and one. Alan Boyamba celebrates with the student section.
Again, Vanderbilt, where is his offer?
Alan Buyamba too strong in the paint. Gets the rebound and puts it back up. This is intense. This one to make it an 11-point lead. That might have been the dagger, folks.
And he makes that the three-point play that it is.
Phenomenal job here by the Buyamba brothers. We've got some hooking here. Higginbotham will be fouled.
And that's the bonus for Carroll.
Well, that's big in a matchup where there's a lot of fouls. You know, I don't know how many more free throws we're going to see tonight, especially when both teams are in the bonus.
I figure we'll see a lot more tonight, Jack. This game's intensity has brought some fouls as Bam Bowling misses his first. And in for the game comes Donovan Ford, the 6'4 sophomore, taking out Ian Natchkoff, the 6'8 senior.
Holding second is good. Peterson scaling the baseline. Gets it to Buyamba, guarded very tightly. And we're gonna get a timeout from Coach Keith Ergo.
Strategic timeout there, well played by Keith Ergo. Knows his stuff, has coached at the Division I level for over 10 years, and he's bringing all that knowledge back here to his home, I Street.
30-second timeout for the Eagles here.
And a dominant performance at half for Indiana. They're currently winning 35-7. Very dominant first half from the Indiana Hoosiers. Fernando Mendoza, Kirk Signetti. Who could ask for more at the Peach Bowl, Jack?
Well, here we go. Carroll looking to make a huge comeback. That's not possible unless they get a nice stop here.
Bounce pass to Higginbotham. Higginbotham taking it up by himself. Takes it under the basket.
They're gonna say he stepped. No, they're gonna say it's a travel. And Gonzaga takes little to no time off the clock there and turns it over.
There's a 30-second shot clock in all WCAC matchups. Just a reminder for the fans.
Turnover here. Peterson turns it back over. Carroll into the post. And another turnover. 3 turnovers in a matter of 10 seconds. Gonzaga takes over.
A minute, 6 seconds left. Ball to Higginbotham. Higginbotham back to Peterson, to Farrington. Farrington holds it. Wastes the time. Smart play. Yamba will throw it down. His physicality has been amazing tonight.
Well, Buyamba found himself wide open under the rim and was like, why not?
Apology for language is getting picked up near us. It is a very physical game here as Carroll students are leaving the school because I believe the game is over. And Brown on the line here.
Well, Ant Brown was not happy about his loss here last year. You have to think what's running through his head. Higginbotham trying to run out some more time. Gets fouled. He'll shoot 2. And assuming Gonzaga can hang on to their lead, as Amadi will foul out. for Archbishop Carroll. Well, if Gonzaga can hang on to their lead that they have amassed, they will move to 11-5 and get the first WCAC win of their season. And the first WCAC win under the head coaching tenure of Coach Keith Ergo. Dylan Higginbotham knocks down his first of 2 free throws. Carroll needs to move quickly here. Holding has an open jump shot, he knocks it down. 11 points here. Peterson gets it to Farrington. Seconds left in the contest. Farrington knocks it down. Gonzaga's done a remarkable job of knocking down their free throws late game under pressure. Farrington's second is good. Hangs up on the rim and then goes down. It's a 13-point lead. Holding tries to get into the lane. Gonzaga's ball, and with that, it is all but over from the Carmody Center.
And what a night we've had with you. Thank you for tuning in. We will be joined by our player of the game in just a moment. And we would like to congratulate Coach Keith Ergo on his first WCAC win.
The first win in the WCAC for head coach Keith Ergo.
And we will be joined by Alan Boyamba
for a player of the game interview.
Player of the game interview.
Alan!
And we will be joined in the future with Alan Boyamba as they look to sing the alma mater and sing that song. This time it is a happy song.
Well, remarkable job here.
We're now joined by Coach Keith Ergo. Congratulations, Coach, on your first WCAC win. Huge win here on I Street. Your defense played amazing. What was that intensity like in practice prior to coming into this game?
Yeah, you know what, we've been battling. Our goal is not even to win this game, it's just to continue to get better every night. These kids are working, they're grinding, and every day they come in with a unbelievable attitude to continue to be coached and get better, and as a coach, that's all you're going to ask. And we got a long way to go. We got to keep getting better. This is a great win. That's a great team. But our goal is to always be the best team we can be by the end of the year, and these guys are working towards that.
What did it feel like to be in such a hostile, or not hostile, but tense environment in a Carmody Center that was packed with fans?
It's awesome. It's awesome, man. This is what this place is all about. It's been like this for 100 years. It was like this when I played here, and I hope it continues to get bigger, better. And we need to create the home court advantage we know we're capable of. I'd like to see this entire student section completely full next time. These guys are working hard. They've earned that right. And we got to continue this ridiculous school spirit and the pride in the front of the jersey. The purple and white is one of the most proud bases in the country, and you get to see some of it tonight.
Well, thank you so much, Coach,
thank
for
you,
joining
Coach.
us.
Enjoy the win.
It's a great time to be an Eagle.
It is a great time to be an Eagle. And that's it for us here on I Street. Thank you so much for joining us. Gonzaga wins, and Gonzaga enters is in the front half of conference play at 1-2.
Thank you so much for joining us, and we will see you guys in a later broadcast. I'm Jack Cushman.
And I'm JD Thede. Thank you so much, and go Hoosiers.